Hi, Sean Cavanaugh with Clean Cut Painting here again. I just wanted to take a few minutes and talk to you about prep work. This is something that a lot of people don't consider when they're hiring a painter, and it's actually really pretty crucial. Over the years, I've seen pretty much everything that's been done wrong by many painters out there. One of the things that you got to be concerned about is your personal property. How are the painters that are on the job going to take care of your stuff? One thing that is very important is using fresh plastic to cover your furniture. You might not think about that, but a lot of painters, what they do is they use tarps that have been previously used. They've got paint, they've got dust, they've got many different things, germs on the actual tarps being thrown over your couches, being thrown over your beds. Now, I've seen it so many times, it's just actually quite ridiculous. So it costs a little bit of money to buy plastic, but really not that much. And in order to protect your property, I'm never going to reuse plastic. Once I take that plastic off your furniture, I'm not going to take it into a different room and use it again because it's got dust on it. It might have some little specks of paint if I was rolling a ceiling over their bed or something like that. So I definitely wanted to take care of that for you and address that issue. Another thing that you have to be concerned with is your floors. It's very important for your floors to be covered. I've actually been on a job before. This lady, she fired some painters that were working in her house. She wasn't satisfied. She hired me to come in and complete the rooms that had not been painted. However, the previous painter had to come back and fix some things that they had messed up in some rooms they had already painted. And while I'm sitting there working in the foyer, not sitting, I'm working, I looked and they came in, they started mudding the ceiling spots that needed mudded and mudding the walls without covering any furniture, without covering any floors. I could not believe it. I immediately stopped what I was doing. I went to the homeowner. I said, look, you need to come in here and look at what these guys are doing because really they're going to damage your property. That's very important when you're talking about carpets, whether you're talking about hardwood floors. Very important to take care of that. Always cover your floors with tarps, and I never paint in any spot without having a tarp there. Another thing is important is when I'm moving furniture, and you need to know this, especially when you're dealing with hardwood floors, not so much on carpet, but when you're dealing with hardwood floors, of course, it's easy to scratch. So what I have, if it's a big piece of furniture that can't be just picked up and moved, I have furniture sliders. I have two different types. I have one for carpets and one that has a specially made cushion that is made for hardwood floors so that it doesn't damage your property. So those are some important things. Another thing that's important is the preparation of the actual painting surface. When you're dealing with walls, you've got dinks, you've got nail holes, you've got cracks, all these things that need to be taken care of. I actually had a guy working for me. He went and he helped out another guy doing some painting. He started to do everything that I taught him to do. He was prepping the walls, and the guy came in and he said, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's costing me time. That's costing me money. Just paint over it. And unfortunately, a lot of people get into that situation where the painter comes in, they don't spackle, they don't fix any stings, nail holes, they just paint. And then when you're done, if you're not happy, they say, well, you know, you didn't pay extra for that. And that's quite ridiculous because that's part of the process. So all your dents, all your dings, all your nail holes, all your cracks, I'm going to come in, I'm going to spackle, I'm going to sand it, I'm going to make it a smooth surface so that it can be done right. When you're dealing with trim, one thing that people don't understand is when you're dealing with trim, if you paint directly over a glossy surface, a shiny surface, the paint is not necessarily going to stick completely. It might be dry to touch, but it's very fragile and very easy to peel off. So one thing that's very important when you're dealing with trim is to come in, lightly scuff sand it, nothing big, not creating a big dust mess in your house, but just lightly scuff it down to get rid of that that sheen, that shine to it, so that the new paint will properly cover. So these are just a few of the things that really set my company apart from some of the other companies out there. And it's really important in the last few years as a lot of the guys that were in new construction, as the economy, housing market crashed. I actually saw on TV the other day the lowest number of home sales in 1 year in the last 47 years. 47 years since they had such a low number of new homes sold in the United States. So what happened is a lot of those guys that were doing new construction production work, which as many of you know is just basically what I call blow and go. They fly through a house, the builder's on them all the time, get it done, and I've been in that position, and I've walked from builders, and I stopped doing new construction because of that, because I have too much integrity. I can't walk away from a job knowing that I did a terrible job. So what happens is those guys are used to just flying through a house, not really doing quality work, doing just enough to get the job done so that these builders can get the home sold. And what they've done is they've come into the repaint market, and they come to you, and they tell you the price, and you look at the price and you think, wow, that's cheaper. I'm going to go with this guy. But what you don't understand is these little bitty things that in the big picture end up costing you money. So these are something that you want to think about. Make sure that you're taking care to make sure that your house is properly prepped, your furniture and your belongings are properly taken care of, so that you don't end up with a problem. So I hope you'll consider doing business with Clean Cut Painting, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.